Okay. Okay, I just want to make sure that whoever's here is not still in the waiting room. Are you guys on? Can you see? Are we going? Are we good? Can you say something in the chat? Type something in the chat. I don't know if you guys are still in the waiting room or if you're actually in. Nothing. Let me see if I can find the waiting room. View. Immersive? What's that? No, I don't want that. Oh boy. All right, let's see. There's my participants. Oh, I have to admit you. Admit all, admit all, admit all, admit all. Welcome, 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 welcome. Joining. Kate's still joining. Okay. Hi, Linda. Hi, Deanna. Hello, Kate, on the way. Okay, I'm going to keep this waiting room. What's this? Joining. Okay. Message. Good. You're in. Great. Welcome, Kate. Okay. All right. Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm going to be uploading this later, so if you miss anything, you can always circle back. I will try not to go too fast. Welcome aboard. We have a lot of fun stuff to talk about and share today. And let me, what was that? Okay, I want to remember the title of what this was so that I stay on topic, because as you know, I always have so many things to talk about. Let me just go get the piece of paper that has this title on it. One moment. Ready, guys. Oops, somebody else in the waiting room. Admit. There we go. Okay. Oh, admit. Okay. So today's talk is, oh yeah, it's my give back to you. So this is my free discussion about the current, isn't this an awesome dress? About current astrology. Current astrology, what's going on, next steps, and then we just might do a little bit of a splash reading, I call that. And definitely questions and answers, because you guys really, really eat that up. And I have a lot of fun with it too. This is being recorded, absolutely. And the only reason that I did it this way is because when I do a Facebook Live, I get a lot of those bot people that post stuff. Oh, get reading with me, broken English and all kinds of, dumb solicitations. And so to prevent that from happening, I am doing it this way. And this way, everybody has to register. And then once we're all said and done, I'll go ahead and I'll post it everywhere. So if you end up having to dip out, you're not going to miss it. I'll put it on the Woo Life YouTube channel, and it'll be a beautiful thing. So welcome. All right, so we're at 5 minutes in. I think a lot of people are just going to watch the recording later, because a lot more are registered that are not actually here. So I'm just going to keep my eye on that waiting room. And let's see. I kind of don't want to go in too deep in case there are a couple stragglers. We'll just give it like another minute or two. But I will say that tomorrow is a full moon. And tomorrow is a full moon in the sign of Virgo. And so this is it's a very strong, very powerful full moon. And we might as well just dive in. So I can't like, park information because I might miss it later. So I do have a chart I'm going to be sharing on the screen. You don't need to know anything about astrology to follow along. You are invited to ask questions in the chat. And since, I'm clearly not going to be overwhelmed by hundreds of people, I should be able to look at your comments in real time, and then I can answer. And I would also like to share that if you do have something on your mind related to what we're talking about, most likely you're not the only person who is having that question. So no question is a dumb one. We all are here to learn about ourselves and our place in this world, and some guidance on what in God's name is going on this planet. And what is your space? What is your place? What is your space in it, right? So we're going to talk about some of that stuff. It's super awesome, super cool, as always. And as always, I super appreciate you guys being here, and I thank you. So this is just my my way of giving back, and there's always going to be that because I can't help it. It's just like I am that giver. I'm the giver, right? Anyways, okay. So some of this stuff is going to be astrology. Some of this stuff is going to be what I receive from my guidance. And as you guys all know, or those who maybe don't, I am extremely obedient when I receive information. Actually, just let me say it this way. As a medium, the job is to deliver what I'm getting. So I don't, it's like I'm a mail carrier, right? But I also read the letter. So I receive a mail in the mail slot, and my job is to open that letter and read it, not to decipher it, not to translate it, and not to put my spin on it. Otherwise, that's a disservice. And so as I get stuff from my spirit guides, lately they've been giving me a lot of words that I don't use. And so it'll kind of stump me, and I'll like open a Google window and type in the word to see what it means. And 100% of the time it is extremely accurate and applicable. So I know that I can trust that. I know that my spirit guides are not here to make me look like an idiot. And I am super hypersensitive when my brow straps are showing. So I'm kind of getting out of my comfort zone today because this is just such an awesome dress. I just really wanted to wear it. Okay. So let us now, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to pull up the current astrology, and all you have to do is follow along. You don't need to know anything. I'm going to explain everything in regular people terms, just like always. And I do teach everything that I know. So, okay, so let's get into it. So this is a chart for tomorrow. Okay, if you can see my mouse here, March 18th. In the wee hours of the morning. So it's 3 a.m. The reason it's 3 a.m. is because that is when the full moon is at 27 degrees of Virgo, and the sun is at 27 degrees of Pisces. So what is a full moon from an astrological perspective, right? It is when the moon is opposite the sun. So when it's a new moon, the moon is over here with the sun. And that's a dark moon because the sun is outshining the moon, and they're sitting together holding hands. So you don't see the moon when we are under a new moon, okay? So tomorrow is a full moon, and that means the moon is the fattest up in the sky. It's giant, it's illuminated and full. It's the full Monty, and it's lit up. And where does the word lunacy come from? Luna. Luna is moon, okay? So we're made up of mostly water. The moon draws, it has a magnetic pull to the water element. So that does have a strong impact on our physical bodies. I was going to say something and it left my brain. Okay, so the full moon that perfects in the wee hours when we're probably going to be sleeping The moon will be in the sign of Virgo. Okay, so that's what we look to. So that's why it's a full Virgo, a full moon in Virgo. That's why it's called that. And it's also known as the worm moon. And you could, if you have any questions about stuff like that or any doubts about stuff like that, just look at the Farmer's Almanac that's sold in your local CVS or supermarket. The Farmer's Almanac is super, super old. And I use those methodologies to do certain things, like to buy, when I was in the market for a new car, I looked at the moon and how it fit with my chart. So using astrology, you can learn, you can come to understand when is the best time to have surgery. For example, you never want to have surgery on a body part that is ruled by the moon. And you never want to have a surgery on a full moon. And you never want to have a surgery when the moon is in Scorpio, because there's a stronger likelihood of dying on the table. So I have worked with clients on going through their chart and the phases of the moon and determining the best range or dates to have certain surgeries. And I can say everyone that I have counseled or consulted with so far has lived to tell, and they've been successful, and they had minimal after problems. So that is something you can learn. You can use the astrology chart to help you make big decisions like that. There's always, so astrology works in cycles. So there's little cycles and there's larger cycles. There's always a window of opportunity that refines the best time to do different things. A full moon is the culmination of the prior 28 days. So that is a result. It's like a spotlight of what you've been putting your efforts into for the previous 28 days. And the full moon illuminates, it shines a big spotlight on where you're at. Now, we're moving into eclipse season. In fact, we've got an eclipse April 30th, we have an eclipse. It's a solar eclipse, okay? So it's okay to, I'm not saying full moon, I hope. That's a new moon. It's a new moon, okay? A new moon. I'm not sure if I misspoke or not. April 30th is an eclipse and new moon, okay? So that's a big deal. It is launching a 14-month cycle, okay? So I'm not going to hover on that because I want to talk about today. I want to talk about what's going on and next steps. What can you expect? How are the energies of the sky impacting you today? And let's get some stuff explained. So, have you been feeling a lot of anxiety, a lot of tension, a lot of like scratchy anger, like feeling kind of constricted, tight? Are you feeling confused and lethargic? Are you out of energy? Do you feel that you just cannot get out of bed? Lethargic, foggy, all of these things. So all of the signs, you have a low road expression and a high road expression. When these planets are talking to each other in the sky, they create certain conversations. Some of those conversations are friendly and nice. And those conversations, we call them aspects. And so the ones that are friendly and nice, they have other names like sextiles and trines. But when we have tougher ones like squares, that's always going to be tension and things we need to integrate. So we've been having a lot of these squares of the external planets, which are very slow moving, which means they last a while. So luckily we're coming out of some pretty tough squares that we've been experiencing. Specifically, there's been Saturn, which is this brown H, and Uranus. They were They were squaring 3 times. We're out of the woods on that one. Now, Venus and Mars have been holding hands unusually long recently. Normally, Mars catches up to Venus. Yes. But over the winter months, more specifically in December, Venus had gone retrograde. And from Earth's perspective, it appears that that planet is going backwards. That's what retrograde means. And the energies of that planet become not so strong when a planet is retrograde. So when a planet goes retrograde, it slows down. It slows down, it comes to a stop, it hangs out, and then it goes forward again. So when it stations retrograde, and then when it stations direct, it kind of stays still in the sky, and the energies of that planet are like supercharged. Chum, 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 chum. So it's always being concentrated. So they're more concentrated. Well, they were holding hands in the sign of Capricorn not too long ago, and just a few weeks ago. And so that was giving birth to, or maybe it was a month, but that was giving birth to something new that is hard reality in your life. So how to know how this impacts you personally in your chart is that you can go to my website and you could actually generate your own chart using, there's a handy little tool. It's create your chart or generate your chart. It's on my website. So you can go and you can do this and create your chart. Look to where the sign of Aquarius is. So it's these little zigzags. And Aquarius rules over electricity. So you could think of them as electricity waves. But remember also, Aquarius is the sign of the water bearer, although it's not a water sign. It's an air sign. Okay, so now Mars jumped ahead and Venus caught up to Mars. So this is all unusual stuff. It's all unusual. Well, they came back together at 0 degrees of Aquarius last week, I think it was. And within the last 2 weeks for sure. And 0 degrees Aquarius is a big deal for us in current times, because a year ago, not 2021, but at the end of, it was December 21st, is that right? Right around, yeah, it was December 21st of 2021, I am almost positive, when we had the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, and that happens every 20 years, and every 20 years, that conjunction kicks off a 20-year cycle of trends, the market, the way that finances are gonna go. It's a big deal. And if you think about it, 20 years is also a generation too. So this is so exciting. A year ago at Christmas was kicking off a new 20-year cycle in the sign of Aquarius, which is an air sign. So what's gonna happen? Well, Aquarius also rules over the internet and digital currency, yeah. So you can pretty much be assured we will be moving to digital. I don't know anything about it, so I can't give you any advice about it. And yeah, I like cash. I like cold hard cash. So I might be one of those people kicking and screaming because when you have digital currency, you are not in control of that. Whoever is in control of the internet or your email or whoever, they're in charge of your financial well-being. I'm not real comfortable with that. So you might want to just stuff your mattress with money. If you, I don't know who you follow, but I know there's a guy out there. I don't even know his name, but he's in, I think he's in California. He's definitely out on the West Coast. And he's been talking about lines of people drawing their money out of the banks and that the banks are running out of cash because banks don't really carry all the cash of the assets that they are in charge of. And bank branches are closing. So definitely there's something suspect going on. I definitely don't want to encourage people to get all kinds of suspicious about everybody and everything, because that's not healthy either. But where things are going is that we need to learn how to turn inwards and trust what our gut is telling us. So for those of us that are '40 and up, I think closer to 50 and up. Yeah, that would make sense. We're raised, yeah, it's the higher. So 50 and up, really. We're raised with all of these indoctrinizations that the government knows what's good for you and that the doctor's going to do the right thing and that they really care. I mean, back in the day, the doctors used to make home visits and they really did care. That was before the big greed of big pharma went crazy. And now those that can write a prescription, they get ridiculous perks. You get a free boat, you get a free cruise, you get a free car if you meet the quota of that particular medicine maker's prescriptions. And I do know people who work in that industry, and I do know that this is truth. I was gonna say not a lie. I do know that this is truth. The perks are crazy ridiculous. And anyways, I'm happy to tell you that probably within our lifetime, big pharma is crumbling. And those who, it's not going to be 100% though. It will be those that are greed driven. Okay, greed driven. Those few at the top who could care less about humanity, that just push and push and push all of these known toxins to people, knowing that it is going to cause more side effects than it does wellness. And that is what the problem is big time today. Those are going to crumble, and it's already beginning to happen as we are awakening. And this whole thing with all the lockdowns, that whole thing that happened 2 years ago, beginning 2 years ago. Oh, it's March. Yeah, 2 years ago. It was a necessary evil, because if something happened that was kind of small and passed by real quick, it would not impact everybody. It would not make us stop and scratch our head and say, you know what, something's not right. Instead, we might just look the other way or say, hey, that doesn't impact me or whatever. So you need a big ass ripple going through everything of a planetary magnitude to force people into questioning. See, we were raised, you don't question. Like, you don't talk back to your parents because they'll beat the crap out of you. You don't talk back to your teachers or those who went to the schools that had the nuns, they beat you. Everything was just might makes right. Listen to me or I'm gonna smack you or hit you with this ruler or get the belt or whatever it is. So what that has done is created generations upon generations that are fear-based. But many people are still very proud of that. Yeah, I was raised right. Yeah, my dad gave it to me. I was scared of him if I wasn't home on time, or whatever it is. But how did you turn out, right? So you might put a lot of pride into that. But what it didn't raise you right. What that showed you is that because I can overpower you, because I'm bigger than you, because I have the power to hurt you, you must obey me. So it's a threat, and that's not healthy. So that is all changing. It's all changing. It's all crumbling. But why? What makes it so scary is that the very ground that we were raised upon is being exposed and really pulled away. It's crumbling. So you're standing on a ground that is crumbling. What do you hang on to when everything you were taught, everything you from your parents to your religious leaders, to your teachers, to whoever had an impact on your life? I mean, they did the best they could with what they had, okay? But we are in a new energy now. We're in a very, very new energy. That old energy of fear and threats and issuing pain on purpose will not work in this new energy. Where we are going is natural medicine, which means stuff of the earth, my friends. It is stuff that grows from our great mother, which is the planet. Okay. Now, how can you work with? I did hit record, didn't I? Wait a minute. Oh no. Oh, good. I'm recording. Phew, thank you. Okay. I'll go back to showing when I come back to that astrology. What was I saying though? Oh, a squirrel. Where we are going. Yes. Excuse me a moment. I almost missed. Did you see that? So where we are going. Yes, got it. Growing your own food. Eating less animals. The great mother, Earth, Gaia, gives us everything that we need to survive. The planet has consciousness. Okay, now this is important. The indigenous always knew this. And so things like the rain dance, why does that work? Because it is speaking to the consciousness of the great mother who always provides. So you're never going to be without when you get out of the system. So all of us have something to do. We're either feeding into the system, receiving the benefits of that system. We're a byproduct of that system. We all have a place in the matrix, but the matrix is being taken away. It is crumbling. The floor under us is crumbling. What do we grab onto? That's the scary part. The answer, though, is intuition. It is by your intuition. It is by trusting what's in your heart, trusting what's in your gut, trusting what's in your third eye, which of course, you know, the foods, fluoride in the water, fluoride in toothpaste, calcifies the pineal gland. And that is where our inner vision is. So it has to be in good functioning working order. Drink lots of water. Water is really important for lots of reasons. It flushes the system. It flushes toxins. Really, really important to stay hydrated. Really, really healthy for you to eat as much of Mother Nature as you possibly can. Healthy, without toxins, without pesticides, unadulterated. The freshest off the plant, off the vine, off the tree you can get it, the better it is for you. Because once you pluck it, it starts a death process. So you want it while it is at its peak, full of life. You want to eat it straight from the vine, straight from the tree, straight from the earth, straight from the stream, wherever possible. So as you learn how to work, how to connect with the great mother, the more life will start to work for you and kind of like cushion you. So like as the ground is breaking away, the energy of the great mother rises to meet you so that you can step and it's going to be okay. So the worst thing you can do is be in a state of fear, because fear makes things break down in a not good way. Fear over a prolonged period of time will give you adrenal fatigue, inflammation, anger, nervous problems, tension, anxiety, And then with this great divide that we're going through of people, well, we're kind of on the other, I feel we're on the other side of this great divide. When I'm saying great divide, I mean separation of groups of people. So it was, political for a minute. Well, it kind of still is political. But anything that divides and separates people is bad. Okay. So unity is good. We want unity in the community, right? That's what we want. We do not want separation. We are one human family. We all bleed red. We all put our pants on the same way, right? So we want to be able to lean into that and use it to our advantage. So when we can recognize those who are trying to keep us separate and in fear, those are the ones that are easiest to control. So people who don't, so now you have, our poor parents or grandparents. No, that would not specifically be me because I don't have any parents or grandparents left. But the generations before us, I forgot to turn off my phone volume. Sorry. The ones who have gone before us, well, they were very much raised in a state of fear. They had stuff with the war and real scarcity and eating dirt and making, having lots and lots and lots of kids, but they were labor on the farms or whatever. So, kids did not have a voice. They were looked at as property, and that women looked like as property. Black people were looked like as property. Indigenous were just pillaged and their land stolen. I mean, look at all of this. And who's at the helm of that? The old white man, right? Now, of course, this is not a discussion about skin color, but these are truths. These are truths. And so that turned into the corruption of the sacred masculine energy and the pillaging of the divine feminine. So these last 500 years, all of those grand conjunctions of Jupiter and Saturn that happens every 20 years, for the past 500, they've been in earth signs. So all of the trends, all of the stuff like manufacturing was all taking from the earth. So manufacturing, smokestacks, fossil fuels, mining, all that stuff taking from the Great Mother, okay? Now, since December of 2020, that began the next 20-year cycle in air signs. So the next several hundred years, just about all of those 20-year cycles will be in an air sign. But this one, being in the sign of Aquarius, speaks to inventions. Lots of brilliant, fast inventions, one after the next, and this speaks to extraterrestrials, which you are. We have 24 pairs of chromosomes. We do not have 23. How would we have 23 and an ape has 24? We have 24, but that other pair has a multidimensional aspect. And that's why scientists say it's junk DNA. Okay, Creator does not make mistakes. Creator does not give us stuff that we don't need. We did not evolve out of needing pieces and parts in our body. It's there for a purpose. It is. So that other pair of chromosomes, they are multidimensional. And it's that one that becomes activated, and we can kind of explore when we do our meditations. That is what is deep inside of us that gives us a calling to want to go home. It gives us a calling to say, I think that there's more to life than just this meat suit. It says, I think that there's something greater than just me out there. And I would like to pursue seeking what that is. That's what that's there for. But because this is a planet of free choice, we don't have to pursue it at all if we don't want to. We don't have to evolve in this lifetime if we don't want to. We don't have to learn our life lessons if we don't want to. We can stay in our south node. It's in your personal chart. It looks like a horseshoe, or a U looks like a horseshoe. That's your south node. That's your comfort zone. Okay. All right. So now let's come back to the chart and this full moon of tomorrow. Okay, so here we are once again, and I'll try to stay on topic, but I know this is juicy stuff, right? Okay, so we have all of this Pisces energy going on. OMG. Okay, see here, this is the sun. Here's Neptune, Jupiter, and Mercury. All of these in the sign of Pisces. So let's discuss what that is. The low road of Pisces is addictions, escapism, numbing oneself. It is brain fog, lethargy. I can't get out of bed, depression. It is, I cannot look at the elephant in the room. I cannot address things. It is victimhood mindset. It is martyrdom. I need to bleed dry so that others can live. It is kind of passing the buck and a lack of accountability. It is ungrounded, dreamy, airy-fairy. The high road expression of Pisces is spiritual. Oh, what was that? The high road is spiritual. It is a compassionate, kind, loving, universal consciousness, kind of an energy. It is a love of all of humanity. It is, I want to be connected with my brothers and sisters around the world and hold hands in beautiful unity. It is the mystic. Pisces is the mystic. Now the sun right next to, actually the three of these together actually the four of these together right now is a real big deal. So Mercury is the planet of communication. It's in Pisces, highly spiritual. Okay, now all the astrologers are talking about this, Jupiter and Neptune conjuncting, which is coming up next month. So it is, where's my book? I'll give you the exact date. Jupiter is good luck and is the ancient ruler of Pisces. Neptune, because it was more recently discovered, is the modern ruler. So they're co-rulers of the same sign. Some planets, some signs have two rulers. So Pisces is one of them. I'm looking for April, or is it May? Where's the waiting room? I hear somebody ringing the bell. Oh, where is it? Admit, there we go. Sorry, Kate, we lost you a moment. Welcome back. Okay, where is that? That's how is it not? I know I wrote it in my book. Where is it? It's not there now. I'll tell you what it is. This Neptune, Jupiter, conjunction 2022, April 12th. April 12th. There it is. It is in my book. I just totally didn't see it. I'm going to circle it now. Okay, Jupiter and Neptune are going to be conjuncted on April 12th. And so everyone's talking about that. All the astrologers are talking about that. And what the heck does that mean? So, because of some other stuff, mainly this other energy that we have in Aquarius, plus this Neptunian energy has to do with things not of this world, things from the other side of the veil. So now let me just say, okay, Jesus, the person, is not coming back. Okay, nobody's coming back to save us. That whole mentality is the low road expression of Pisces. It's not going to happen. Okay, you are who you've been waiting for. You are the only person who could save your own self. Okay, so no one's coming back in to sweep us off our feet and save us. It's not happening. These two planets coming together is very psychic, very intuitive. super, super not of this world. So I would expect probably some kind of a reveal about extraterrestrials walking amongst us, or maybe the discovery, or excuse me, admitting about or discovery admitting about the other pair of chromosomes that we have, the 24th pair. This would speak to, I'm seeing something. It's a cosmic fabric. It's kind of like this vortex in the cosmic fabric. It's not black holes, wormhole. It's a wormhole. So maybe more discoveries about wormholes and more talk about ability of living on other planets and life on other planets. If you feel that Earth is the only planet that has intelligent life, then that's not true. I'm letting you know. And you know, maybe what I have to talk about might not speak to you unless you're open to that. So there are with a B, billions of other galaxies, billions of planets. Okay, Earth is only one. Okay, there's other planets that have life with the same structured DNA as us. So I don't know about you, but like I wonder about things like that. Like I would wonder, you know, like when they used to show, or not used to, but when they show pictures of an alien, for example, you know, my brain goes, do they all have 2 eyes and 2 ears and 2 arms and 2 legs? And you know, what's up with that patterning? And are all life forms like that? Like, do you think like that? Well, that's how I think. And actually, the answer is yes. So a lot of these other types of beings are walking amongst us. Some people have a very different look, and that might be because they have a little bit more of that than we do. But I do strongly feel that there's going to be way more disclosure about, okay, so let me just say this about spaceships, but now I want to clean that up by saying other beings do not need a spaceship to be here. Okay, you can instantaneous go wherever you wish to go when you have a more activated DNA, which we do not. So these other beings are very advanced beings that have a more highly activated DNA than we do. The only reason that they use ships are because that's what we're looking for. That's what we're expecting. So there's plenty that don't. I hope that that helps you in some way. Okay. Now this is some information that I've received. I can't quite find the site, but this is rather direct. It's reiterating something that I saw, but I'm just receiving it kind of directly right now. And this is what I'm asked to share. I believe this is from the Galactic Federation of Light, I believe. And so, because there's a certain symbol that I see when it's that, and that's what I'm seeing right now. And so there's a connection. I'm going to label this, it's going to sound funny. There is a collection and a connection of super beings. And they represent different corners of, I don't know, galaxies or universes. I'm not quite exactly sure. Okay, but they've come together and now they are performing concentrated efforts on the earth. So we were like offline and undetectable because we were still in infancy stages. And you know, kind of like little kids beating each other up, right? But now we are evolving out of that phase in this launch of humanity, this 5th launch of humanity. And now we've passed that kindergarten fighting stage, and you know, fight might makes right. We're surpassing that finally. We're gonna make it. Okay, we're not gonna blow ourselves up. We're not gonna be nuked. We're not gonna be. That's not gonna happen. We've passed that. And so what's happening is this these bright light, this energy, these beings or super beings that are connecting and coming together for us appear to be shining a light, helping us to be able to see better. And really what that means is perceive. It's helping us to be able to perceive other energies faster, with more clarity and stronger. So that means your psychic abilities are getting a super boost. Your intuition is getting a super boost. Our empathy is getting a super boost. So that can make us feel a little nutso, like, I don't want to be reading other people's thoughts. I don't want to be feeling somebody else's sorrow. I don't want that. So if that speaks to you, imagine yourself as a really, really bright light that has a dimmer switch, and turn the dimmer switch down a little bit. You don't need to be full on all the time. And what we're doing is turning down your sensitivity. So it doesn't mean your own self-emanating light isn't on, but we're just turning down the sensitivity. So just imagine you're putting a dimmer switch on yourself, wherever you want to put it. And you're just turning it down a little bit because you don't want to feel everybody else's stuff. I don't want to feel everyone's stuff unless they're here getting a session with me. Then they've granted permission and I have the ability to look around and help that person. But I don't want to walk around going to the supermarket feeling everybody else's stuff. You don't want that. So if you start feeling that way, notice it. So you have to kind of call it out. Oh, I'm feeling everybody else's stuff. And you imagine your dimmer switch and you start to rotate it counterclockwise and just turn it down a little bit. And then it's okay. So you kind of have to declare that for yourself. Other people can't do this for you. You have to do it. So that has to do with that floor crumbling underneath. You have to do this for yourself. You do want to lean into guides, not spirit guides. Yes, your spirit guides, but you do want to lean into people who are where you would like to be and who are doing the things that you want to know how to do. So I just said the same thing in two different ways. Because good people, genuine, good, honest people would love to share information and do not want to say, oh no, it's all for me and I don't want to share. You don't want those people. Those people are ego driven, and there's plenty of them in the spiritual community too. So you have to trust yourself. Just because they have a title or a degree does not mean that that's the right person for you. So really weigh it out. When you see somebody's video, or you even just seeing their name, or if it's in person and you get their business card and you hold on to their business card and you're reading it and observing it and processing subconsciously the energy of that card, notice how you feel. Notice what your inner self, your higher self is picking up. Pay attention to that. Don't explain it away. It's real important. Like, that's why you have that intuition. It's put there for your safety. And when you're ready, it's there to help you grow. So when I was little, I had this slip. When you wear a dress, you wear a slip under it. And now I understand what it was, but it was like a slip that grew with me. So as I grew, the slip grew with me. Now I kind of get it. It must have had like a long hem, and my mom would let the hem down. But gosh darn, I thought that was the coolest thing, like a slip that grows with me. So you have to grow with your own energy. As you're developing, you are evolving. So as you evolve, then newer or higher places of information can come to you. So it's kind of like the premise that you can't feed a steak to a baby, right? Never mind. So sticking on this premise, you have to be able to grow and develop. Like, you have to be able to have teeth to chew and a more advanced digestive system to process these kinds of things. Just as an example, maybe not the best example, but anyway, you have to You cannot skip steps when it comes to your spiritual development. You're going to get kicked back on your butt. So you have to kind of stick with where you are. You cannot jump grades. You know, I know there's genius kids that can skip grades. It doesn't exactly work that way. The way it does work is you work at it, you study, you learn, you meditate, you try things, you put your energy into things, and then you chill for a minute and see what comes back. Keep what works, discard what doesn't, or tweak what it is to help you get to the next step. And hopefully you do have a goal. It's very important having a goal. So it might be something as simple as, I want to increase my psychic awareness. I want to increase my inner vision, my intuition. Maybe I want to be able to help other people by seeing their illness. Maybe you want to be a medical intuitive, or maybe you want to take a walk through your own Akashic records. Maybe you're interested in knowing all of the lives that you lived on Earth, because that's all you can see when you can't see prior lives before Earth per se. Just park that, just leave that there. So there's several ways to get you where you would like to go. So you can learn from a whole bunch of different people, keep what works for you, let go of what doesn't. It's easy to get thrown back every now and then, or feel, oh, I'm not getting anywhere. I got all of the psychic games wrong. I suck. Don't give up, because what happens is then you get a little bit of a skip. So you get these little bits, and then you advance. You get things in chunks. So it's like little chunk, little chunk. That's the way that it works. So right when you might feel you're at your wit's end, I'll never get this. Well, don't talk to yourself that way. But if you feel that way, oh, I just can't get it right, you got to keep at it. You don't want to quit. You know, there's that image of, it's a little cartoon of a little caveman, and he's hacking away, trying to get, I don't know, let's say some crystals or something. And he's exhausted. And he's like, I'm done. And he walks away. But if he would have hit it one more time, you would have broke through to the other side. And that's almost always how it is with us. We put energy into it, and then we walk away right as we're ready to have that breakthrough. So I have an itchy nose, which means spirit is trying to say something. Let me see. Let me answer the phone, see what's there. Okay, yes. Is the way to access all of this stuff is through your own heart. The heart is a portal, and you could go into your heart and you could program your field or your Merkaba, and you can kind of go wherever you want to go. You go cruising around in your little light body, wherever you wish to go. I do talk about that in the energy healing class. I think there's 2 seats left. What is it? Everything you want to know about energy healing. What is it? Where does it come from? And how can I do it? 2-part workshop, March 26th and April 2nd, 2 parts. It's a really, really great workshop. I think I need to offer it online because I'm getting more requests from people that are not local. Okay. All right, we're going to come back to the full moon tomorrow. So now we've talked plenty about this Piscean energy. All right. Pisces, spiritual, altruism, charitable, but not with sacrificing yourself. Okay. Now here's the moon in critical Virgo. Virgo is a mutable energy. It is quite critical and judgmental of itself. So people who've got a lot of Virgo in their chart, or who have a Virgo sun, moon, or rising sign, or who have a lot of planets in the 6th house, because that's the natural house of Virgo. Those people always feel they're not good enough. I'm not this enough. I'm not that enough. I don't have enough money in the bank. I'm not good looking enough, etc., etc., etc. And so it might feel, that you are a second fiddle. And even though you are amazing and awesome, you've got great attention to detail, strong analytical skills, pattern recognition and comparing things, wonderful usually with managing schedules and times, schedules, appointments, good at managing that stuff, good at orchestrating things like events, real great energy for that. It is a wonderful energy that says, I must be of service. Oops, something in the chat. I'm sorry, I wasn't looking. Oh, thank you. Deanna is just affirming for me. The energy healing workshop is great. Thank you. This Virgo energy is, it can be a victim. Okay. Now, the full moon is when the moon is exactly opposite or opposing the sun. So this Virgo, the opposite of Virgo is Pisces. So both of them are lit up. This moon can bring out, okay, certain things coming to the surface, skin conditions, rashes, breakouts, hives, digestion problems, anxiety. All of this can have cropped up during the week. It's going to peak at around 3 in the morning with the full moon. It's probably around 2. And this chart is for 3 because the degree is exact. And the moon's 27 degrees and 30 minutes and 27 degrees 39 minutes. So yeah, it's pretty exact, right about 3 a.m. This is Eastern time. I'm in Western New York. So this also is an energy that purges. Virgo is a clean freak. It is OCD big time. And so, where in your life do you have Virgo energy? So create your chart on my website and see where this little symbol on the outside is in your chart, and see if you have any planets in this sign. So that is going to be activated by this full moon, which we are already under the influence of. It just happens to peak at around 3 a.m. So you're under the influence or the energies of a full moon for about 3 days. A full day before, a day and a half before, a day and a half after, I would say. And so what is illuminated? It's going to be, where am I being too sacrificial? Where am I giving too much of my energy away? Where am I not claiming my own stake in this world, in my existence? Where am I just giving too much of myself away? Where am I bleeding myself dry? Where am I suffering from anxiety? What is making me break out in hives? What aspects of my life am I really being too anal about, too perfectionist over, too critical and judgmental? Where is this coming from? And going into that area of your body, going into that aspect or whatever the situation is within, and sending it love and acceptance, because it needs to be heard. It needs to be seen. It needs to be validated. It needs to be embraced and loved and nurtured and held. You must know that you are good enough. You've always been good enough, and you always will be good enough. You need to know that exactly where you are is where you're supposed to be, and to be patient with yourself, which all of us suck at. Be patient, receive divine guidance, which is at an all-time high right now. This window of all this Pisces energy, it's almost at the end. In a few days, we're going to be in Aries energy, and that energy is very different. Pisces represents endings and closing. So it's like year end. Astrologically, it's year end. We're closing down. We're buttoning things up. We are getting ready to cash in our chips. We're getting ready to close up shop and do some new product launches, do some new going out into the world. We've had our Rip Van Winkle period of time. Now it's time to wake up in multiple ways. So in just a few days, when we have it's Sunday, when we have the spring equinox, that is the first day of Aries and the first day of the astrological new year, which is the true new year. To hell with the Gregorian calendar. That's all, we don't need it. Use the Farmer's Almanac. It's the astrological new year. That is the true new growth, new birth, new chance, new evolving, new. It's new. Just think of spring growth. Okay, that's you. That is representative of you, that energy within you. See where Aries falls in your chart. Use the chart tool on my website and create your chart and see where you have this sign right here. This is Aries right here. Okay, so the house that you have, that's Aries energy, is going to be what starts to be activated with the equinox. Isn't that cool? But right now we're buttoning up the astrological year. Things are closing down. We're winding down. We're finishing off relationships, jobs, places we've lived, whatever it is, conditions, people, situations. Oh yeah, there's that song, Closing Time, right? Supersonic. Yeah, so let that play, right? That's one of those songs that never leaves your head, right? But that's what it is right now. So you could think of Pisces season as closing time. Closing time. That's what it is. Now, also, it is the energy between worlds. So it's the other side of the veil. It represents endings, spirituality, dreams, sleep, prayers, and meditations. It's the invisible. So it is the spiritual world, and that's why it's also the sign of the mystic. So really lean in and get all that you can under this beautiful energy. Where it might not feel so beautiful is we might be in a fog. We might have an identity crisis. We might lose a sense of who we are, what we're supposed to be doing, losing our way, trying to see in the dark. That will shift with the equinox, because then the sun will leave Pisces and it goes through a death and it gets reborn into Aries, the warrior, the yang energy. Now, coming back to when these planets come together, I remember that I was talking about extraterrestrials being more publicized, more aware. I would expect something's going to happen that is undeniable about life in other locations. That's what I would expect. I expect big things up and down with digital currency until there's some kind of a regulation on it, which is not probably going to be a good thing. I would not, but you have to have a common ground somewhere. So we're really the best way to go is barter. Aquarius is community. Aquarius is the people. In what's called mundane astrology, which is world astrology, the moon represents the people and the sign of Aquarius represents the people. And why this is a big deal is because we've been in Capricorn energy, which is about top-down government, restrictions, secrets and secret societies, all of that shady old white man stuff. Thank God we are now out of that. So it is a big deal. So we are moving into this new era that is going to be about trusting ourselves, not leaning into the system, doing our prayers and meditations. It has to do with trusting our intuition and developing our intuition. But we're getting a lot of help now. So like the Galactic Federation of Light was showing me, they're shining a big light over us. And I swear, so many times I'll be sitting at nighttime at my desk at home, and I'll feel like there's a big LED lamp over my head, and I see like light. There's nothing wrong with my eyes. And just last week, I started getting smells now. So I was smelling cigarette smoke. I was smelling mint. I was smelling cologne. So I don't know if that belongs to like clients that were coming in, you know, upcoming clients, or if it's certain people of my own. I don't even know, but I just know that my own senses have been going off the charts. My mediumship has been going off the charts. My visuals, everything has just been going berserk. And so you are also having this in one area of your life. So look to where the planet Neptune is in your chart, which looks like this is the trident. Okay. And this also does represent water. So the element of water. So where are you becoming maybe flooded in your life? Because Neptune and whatever, here's the red number 4 looking thing, that's Jupiter. And whatever Jupiter touches expands, it magnifies. So that is going to mean flooding in certain areas. Now, if you have Pisces in your 4th house, then I would guess you're going to have a leaky toilet, a leaky faucet, a broken pipe, some kind of a plumbing concern. With a person, it could be tears. Maybe something is crying, or maybe there's swelling of fluid in the body. If maybe that would be if it's in the 6th house, because the 6th house is our wellness, our health. There's a lot of different ways this can show up in your chart, but those are the easier ways that you don't have to overthink anything, because Virgo definitely overthinks. I have a lot of Virgo in my chart. And this full moon can cause us analysis paralysis. Where are you overthinking in your life? So it's going to illuminate where we need to become more organized. And this can speak to finances. It could speak to clutter. It definitely speaks to clutter, because Virgo hates clutter. Now, me, I have a lot of Virgo in my chart, and my desk does get cluttered. So even my desk here at the office, it gets cluttered, but I know where everything is. See, so it's like an organized mess. So this is definitely a beautiful time to purge. Now, I have been saying that. I said it in December, November, and I'm saying it again now. This is a great time to purge because Virgo loves cleanliness and it speaks to health. Virgo, Pisces is the axis, because they're exactly opposite. The 6th house and the 12th house speaks to health and spirituality. So this is healthcare workers, healthcare industry. The 6th house is also employees and subordinates. So workers, healthcare workers, get it? So this is something else will come under a spotlight, more scrutiny, more rights, less rights, but it's going to come under a spotlight. I definitely feel kind of like a hand of God coming. I don't mean coming, a hand of God dropping down, saying, if you're willing to take my hand, if you're sick and tired of fighting so hard, all you have to do is open your heart and take my hand and let me help you. This is what your spirit guides are telling you. Or if you want to just say God or creator, or however you label that, I definitely perceive it right now as a giant mammoth hand coming down sideways, just asking, I'm here. All you got to do is say yes and take my hand. It's okay if you don't understand, do it anyways. It's having faith, having trust. All of this stuff has to do with trusting in the invisible, things that we cannot see, things that we cannot, they're giving me the word substantiate. See, here it is. I don't like when they throw in words that I don't commonly use. Things that we can't quantify, another one. It's stuff that it's invisible to us. It's on the other side of the veil. We have to make a leap of faith. We are being asked to make a leap of faith at this time. And if you're a good person, you are a sincere person, and you're genuinely compassionate about others, this is not a time to freak out, not a time to be fearful, not a time to worry, but rather a time to embrace all that you are, knowing that you are a good person, knowing that you are a product of creation, and knowing, also you have to work with the consciousness of earth. So get out in nature, just sit and listen to the birds. It's a symphony. of sounds of nature. Listen to when crickets come out at night. I don't think it's time yet, but you know, circadias, or is that how you say those? The animals, the just listen to the one moment. Sorry, my big mouth. A customer came into the store. Totally forgot what I was saying. Sorry about that. The words quantify, right? Yes, leap of faith. That's what it is. It's making that leap of faith and growing your wings on the way down. There's no, I mean, don't forget, creator is lowering their hand. They're just saying, take my hand. All you have to do is say yes. You can imagine it. You can envision taking it, reaching that hand. And that hand will never let you go. Never let you go. I do want to do a real quick reading. I want to give you guys a minute to ask questions. I think I've covered what it is I wanted to talk about. I do want to just point out about with this full moon tomorrow, you're going to be hypersensitive. You're going to be very critical of yourself. So just know that and know that it's going to pass. Okay. There could be health concerns that come up, especially with the stomach, digestion, skin, allergies, sensitivities. Par for the course, it's going to pass. Okay. So there is no better time ever in this lifetime to be able to use this window of opportunity to connect with your higher self, connect with your spirit guides, step into this beautiful spiritual realm that is always available, always surrounding us. Life is surrounding us. It's riding that wave. It is being enmeshed in all of life itself. And at the same time, knowing that you're part of the cosmic fabric. Isn't that so awesome? All right. So just a couple other things that I have going on I wanted to share. I told you about the energy healing class. That's March 26th and April 2nd. I have one seat left for my personal VIP transformation weekend intensive. It's a week personal with me. There's only 3 people who can come in. 2 are booked. I have 1 left. It's not 3 days, is it? No, it's 2 days. It's April 9th and 10th, Saturday and Sunday. You get personal, customized healing. We really pull your chart apart and review it in great detail. There are tiers that happen that are cleansing, overwhelming unconditional love. And we measure your energy the whole time. For those of you who know, I have this super cool device. It's German technology. It measures your frequencies. We do it when you walk in. We gauge it over the weekend and before you walk out, and it is like night and day. You feel different. It never wears off. It is a permanent uptick in your life, in your world, in your perceptions. It is just off the hook. Now, we have that. I'm doing an Akashic Records workshop April 21st. 2 spots left for that. And then I'm doing a rejuvenation healing retreat for people who are customer service, healthcare, people who take care of other people who have to serve people all the time. So you deal with irate customers, you deal with people projecting their crap on you. This is that workshop. So it's for you. 2 day, it's a Friday evening, all Saturday, all Sunday, May 13th to the 15th. It is called the Rejuve Healing Retreat. And there are 18 seats currently available. I am teaching the psychology of astrology at Lilydale in July. And I think that's as far as I want to take you. Okay, so those are things I have coming up. So if you want any more information about that, just go to my website, suzy-woo.com, and click on the event calendar and you can see everything there. All right, now let's do a quick reading and then let's stop the screen share. I think I said everything I wanted to say. Deanna says she's been smelling smoke for weeks now. Yeah, super psychically sensitive, super intuitive. Now that window, we'll stay open of this extra sensory stuff until the end of May. All right. Then later in the year, a little of that will come back. A little bit of that will come back. I feel I need to explain that, but I'm running out of my time already. So let's do your reading. Oh, yeah, we're going to use some tarot cards and then we're going to use an oracle card. So we're just going to do how many cards I see 4. So we're going to do 4 cards. See, I'm very obedient to my guides. So I hope that you've enjoyed this time with me and that you've got some benefits out of it. If you want, you can put some questions in the chat while I do this reading. And then when I finish this reading, I'll answer those questions and then we'll wrap it up. Well, there's the 3 cards. All right. So, okay. So what we have is a reversed sun. I'm going to show it to you the right way. So what this is indicating is that a lot of people are not feeling their self right now. They're not feeling real strong. And Pisces is definitely a time of not feeling strong. So this is just helping to validate. This is a time because the sun is the vitality. And right now we're not exactly feeling that because Pisces season can deplete our energy. We can feel really tired, have a hard time getting out of bed. We can become addicted to behaviors that don't serve us. So right now we're not feeling ourselves, and that's okay. You don't always need to be on all the time. Okay, now the next one is exactly, of course, they're all perfect, but the next one has to do with, here is the hand of God coming down to you. And here is stubborn you sitting under the tree saying, no, I got this. I don't need any help. I got it. Okay, you're being asked to at least let your guard down a little bit. Open your heart, open your crown, allow beautiful healing to come to you. Allow beautiful sentiments from Creator, from your spirit guides find you. Let them come into your space. Okay, now the next one is a reversed Temperance card. So here it is upright, beautiful angel. And look at that. He's got a foot on the earth and a foot in the water. That means between 2 worlds. Okay, and going from one cup to the other, it has to do with balance. Okay, it's reversed. So what that is suggesting is that spiritually, some of us are a little bit disconnected right now. We're feeling wow, I'm really feeling exhausted, and I really don't know how much more oomph I have in me. It's in that surrender that spirit finds you. So please don't give up. Don't worry. Reach out to people that you worry about, who you might worry about might have a little bit of suicidal tendencies or who might accidentally overdose. This is the time you want to reach out to them, because this Pisces is that energy of people checking out. They're leaving the planet. They're checking out early, or they overdose. They cannot deal with reality. It's too painful. So this is a peak time of that, which is also going to end in a week from now. But the message there is that don't beat yourself up if you feel slightly disconnected. All you have to do is go into your heart and imagine your heart opening. And then you could just ask in your mind or even out loud, please show me what I need to know. Please help me. I'm tired. Please help me. I'm confused. Please show me what it is I need to know for my next step. Please show me. Please guide me to the tools that I need to be able to advance in XYZ. You've got to ask. That's really important. You have to ask. Okay, and then the last card is a reverse King of Pentacles. So here it is upright. So this is somebody who's experienced, wealthy, and poised, but he's reversed. That to me, so as soon as I turned it around, it showed me banks are turning on their head. So that's what that's indicating. It means you definitely want to have cash on you. You definitely want to, don't get alarmed when I say this, you definitely want to be prepared. You definitely want to have, food that you either can food or, kind of can, like canning. You definitely want to have means to care for yourself for a short period of time. You definitely want to have some water, jugs of water on reserve for yourself. You definitely want to have cash. You definitely want to have resources available to you. Oh, something else, it just came in now, is that there's going to be way more, and we already are, but even more coronal mass ejections and solar flares. Lots more. It could wipe out the grid. So our grid is already, like, last year, the standing president is talking about infrastructure and pumping all of this money out of nowhere that he makes on a copy machine into this infrastructure. Well, I think that was just a little, they always have to reveal what it is before they actually do something. There's certain rules. And I would expect that the whole electrical grid is going to go down, really, which means your internet, how are you going to get a hold of anybody? I would write down your favorite or your closest people's phone numbers, because, do you have your people's phone numbers memorized? I don't know about you, but for me, like, I have their contacts. I don't know what their numbers are. So what happens if your phone gets fried? Do you have a landline? Make sure you have surge protectors on your house. There's even surge protectors, grounding cords, what do you call it? Grounding rods, lightning rods. There is a, what word did I say? There is a device that you can get for your entire house that prevents, it's like a surge protector for your whole home. You might look into that. Because that is what I see. And I have had dreams about this. Those kinds of dreams come true. So, that means our cars can turn off, especially the ones that are monitored. It means they could turn off because from these mass ejections and things. So, you just want to make sure that you can take care of yourself for a little bit while that gets worked out, because the ways of producing electricity are outdated and outgrown, and do cause harm. And so there's going to be more real, organic, natural ways of producing electricity that we will be using in the future, hopefully seeing that in my lifetime. But right now, from this reading here, it is not a time. Yes, it's a time of not feeling your best, and that's okay. You are receiving divine guidance. Please open your ears, open your heart, and listen. You might feel a little bit spiritually disconnected, or you're not doing it right. You are getting assurance. Yes, you're doing it right. All you have to do is seek. There is no right or wrong. As long as you are in seeking mode. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Deanna. Whole house surge protectors work well. I have one, not expensive, $100. Worth it. So if you are feeling disconnected, nothing to worry about. You are seeing, you are known by Creator. You got to know that, real important. And then those holding the big bucks, they're going to fall, they're going to crumble. Make sure you've got enough in your back pocket to take care of what you need. And then our Oracle card is a wombat spirit, be at home. I've never even pulled this card before. What is that? 68 is the number, which reduces to 14, which reduces to a 5. Okay, and 5 is about conflict. Now, I would advise just a heads up about the Great Divide. So these are people, oh yeah, so besides race, besides religion, besides country to country, it's also about the status, right? The haves and the have-nots, all of that stuff. Throw it away. Just throw it away. Okay. You want to be compassionate. You want to be in your heart. You want to love. You want to love all, even if it needs to be at a safe distance. Thank you. I love you, Linda. And I've been thinking about you lately, especially last night. You were really coming to me. So let me give you what the author would like to share, and then I'll ask if you have any questions. Okay. So Wombat Spirit says, be at home. Isn't that interesting? So number 68. Oh, it's the very last card in the whole deck. And I've never pulled it before, to my knowledge. Okay, so the message here is burrowing deep into the ground, remaining safe, sound, and well-fed with family is a special trait of the wombat. Home sweet home is always available if you recognize that well-being is the truth of life. Wombat Spirit reminds you that to be truly at home in the world, you need to find comfort within your own skin. You do this by accepting all your experience without judgment. through a deep honesty and love of life. When you feel the freedom to be yourself, you can begin to truly feel at home in your life, with your family and tribe. Right now, you're in a beautiful place where you can hang up the coat of your identity. Oh, I love that. And settle into a true sense of home and well-being, understanding that all is well. Everything you do from this place rings true in harmony with spirit. Oh my God, that's awesome. Okay, my part is done. Thank you. And I hope that you love that as much as I did. Let me have it. If you have any questions, I will answer them, and I will then publish this to social media, and we'll call it a day. Have an awesome full moon tomorrow. So what can you do on the full moon? Letting go. What didn't work for me? I'm not going to keep barking up that tree anymore. What do I really like? I'm going to carry that into my big picture view. What I would like to bring into my world. And it's an illumination, a culmination. What worked, what didn't. Okay, you will notice you're more critical of yourself. It'll pass. Don't worry about it. Full moon, release, let go. Yes, you can charge your crystals under this full moon. You do not have to put them in a window. We're under the energy of a full moon. So it could even be under your pillow. It's going to get the energy, okay? Please don't be so gosh darn following guidelines about that, because all you need is intention. Everything else will follow your intention. That's the nature of the law. It's just the way it works. Intention, energy follows intention. So your intentions are everything. Is there anything else that I'm being asked to share at this time? You are all doing a wonderful job. Congratulate yourselves. It's really the big thing that keeps on coming back. You are seen, you are known, you are heard. You are absolutely never alone. Even when you think that you are not. You're surrounded by several, I'm trying to count, several, everybody has a different number, several guides at all times. And they are just dying to help you, but you must ask. You must ask. If you never ask, it's always a no, right? Unless it's life and death. So you must ask when you would like help. You have to ask for guidance. Okay, they just can't come swooping in and saying, yo, but they will put signs and symbols and signposts on the side for you to notice in your periphery. Outside of that, you've got to ask. Put it out there. Show me the way, whatever it is. All right, everybody. Thank you, beautiful. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you so much for your love, for your guidance, your support, and your trust. I hope to see you on one of my retreats. If you went to Lionsgate, I'm doing a level 2 in August. You're not going to want to miss that. It's mind-blowing. More information is coming in straight from the Galactic Federation of Light. I can't wait to share it with you. Serious energy is what happens during Lionsgate anyway. So if you haven't gone to the Lionsgate retreat, it's being offered again this August. So I hope to see you somewhere in the ether. I love you all so very much. And I thank you once again. Enjoy this full moon. I am Suzy Woo. I want you to live a life that makes you say, woo! Bye, everybody.